James Higgins is the Bruins' first-round pick from Boston.
James Higgins, way to go, homie.
Oh, my God, we're going to play that 1,000 times. What do you make of this? What do you make of this Bruins' first pick in 2025?
Excitement. Aren't you excited? Aren't you? You're not. You don't seem
a little bit in that I like the. Well, first of all, he kind of fell to them, right?
Right.
Yes. He could have gone higher. He didn't, and they jumped all over it, and they were apparently, reportedly, very much against trading away the pick once they knew he was there.
I think the story.
Well,
the story is
this time last year, right? This was supposed to be the guy, right?
Yeah, I think the story is like you always say. I think Sweeney and Neely played checkers.
Yes, that's what I was saying. The approach to me
They picked the best guy available.
The approach to me here is about getting the guy with the highest ceiling. The guy with the highest ceiling and the guy with offensive upside, which for this team, well, it's at times is a foreign concept, right? And so just play checkers. Stop playing chess. Just play checkers. Take the most talented guy on the board. And they did that. Keep it simple. Keep it stupid. They went so far as to not leave town in scouting for this draft.
Some issues there. Yeah.
Hey, keep it local, right? Keep it local. Keep it simple. Get the most talented guy. That's what they did. Can't fault them for that. They did. They kept it simple.
Does this give you hope and optimism for this week, though?
In what sense?
I don't know. Filling the holes correctly. They're doing, the right thing. Keeping it on the straight and narrow. They're not going to do anything crazy in free agency. They're not going to go off board.
No, because I think they might be going off board already. So, no, I do not take – this is why it would give me hope that they are not just going to decide to do what Marco Sturm sort of said when he took the job, which was we don't have – and I'm paraphrasing. This is just me taking away all his different commentary from his press conference to his appearance on Felger and Maz, basically saying – we don't have a lot of great offensive talent, so we're going to have to be a defensive-minded team. That's what it sounded like to me. Maybe this means they're a little less focused on that than he would have you believe a few weeks ago.
Nah. No, I mean, you're still talking about a kid.
I know.
This kid's 18. He's 18. And this doesn't happen in any other sport, and I'm not sure if I love it or not. But in basketball, you don't have a kid get drafted and then go back to college and play his sophomore year. A freshman is drafted and then goes back to play. Now, maybe it would be good in basketball. So the era of one and dones, if guys just want to play ball, if they just want to play and they want to get drafted, you get drafted. I know colleges would like it. You get drafted, and then you go back to school. So it clearly doesn't happen in football, doesn't happen in baseball, but it happens in hockey. So you can say, yeah, this is what the organization wants, but who knows when we'll see James Higgins? 2 years? 3 years? Is he the next?
Not necessarily.
Or is he Charlie McAvoy, where you see him a lot earlier than you thought?
Ryan Donato, still taking classes.
Is he like Patrice Bergeron, who started when he was 18 and never looked back? And had a nice, long career, productive Hall of Fame career. But at number 7, I wouldn't expect him, Beetle. I wouldn't expect to see him on the Bruins. I know he said he has to discuss his options. I wouldn't expect to see him on the 25-26 Bruins at any point in the season. Would you?
I'm not expecting that at all. No. That's a hard no.
But next year.
Way to go, homie!
It could be. Yeah, could be a year away.
But look, how many times do the Bruins get a guy where you say it's not a reach? As a matter of fact, there are other fan bases that are disappointed because the Bruins came away with the guy that they wanted and who could have been I know a year is a long time, but this time last year talked about as a number 1 pick or a top 3 pick, and you get the guy at number 7. Who knows? Who knows if he can play or not? But
That's my thing, though. Like that Tavon Wilson moment when your team takes the guy that they don't have highlights or B-roll of, and you're like,
Yeah.
great, awesome, we just reached. And the only thing that's worse than that is the Cole Strange moment when your team reaches for a guy and you have no faith in their drafting ability on top of it. Like, at least with Tavon Wilson, you were still winning 12, 13 games going to the AFC Championship. By the time Cole Strange gets picked, you're like, what is this organization doing? So for
There it is.
the Bruins that you had no faith in, at least go with the chalk pick, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see the Bruins in that situation trade back or take some guy and reach for some player where you're like, oh, no. Where the consensus is, this guy should have gone 15, 20 picks later. That's not what you were looking for.
Can we also bring up this, and it's the thing you mentioned a year ago, he was the guy. Well, now he's not the guy anymore. I mean, doesn't that have to be considered?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the most talented guy on the board, but he also has fallen down that board in a year's time. So the trajectory at the moment is not great. He's not trending up, guys. He's not.
Well,
his value has decreased over the last year.
From 1 to 7, though.
Yeah, but that can be a big drop. Can it not?
You're still a top 10 guy.
Yeah, understood. I mean, there's plenty of top 10 guys who didn't pan out.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't. I mean, theoretically, he shouldn't be there for him. But this is the. I mean, when is the last time this is the highest pick they've had since Sagan?
Yes,
at number 2. So they usually don't have top 10 guys, and I know the fan base in general is not excited about Don Sweeney and his ability to draft players. But in his defense, he's never. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? He's never had anybody. He's never drafted anybody this high. He's never had an opportunity to take players in the top 10. You can miss all the time, but it's. I mean, let's face it. It's easier to pick in the top 10 than it is in the second 10 or third 10, right?
Of course.
So if he can't,
and in that second 10, he doesn't like at all. You know, like right in the middle of the second 10, like right around 15. There was once upon a time.
Yeah, once upon a
never
time.
mind. I don't have to go down that
10-year
road
anniversary.
One time they gave him 3 picks in that second 10
in a row.
It didn't go great.
Yeah, see, it'll be a documentary on that one day.
That's not his spot.
But is it
He's
fair to say?
uncomfortable there.
Is it fair to say that this is the actual? This is the time where you really figure out who Don Sweeney is as a draft evaluator. Because you can play games with, oh, man, a lot of guys can't pick at 15 or 16. But if you have a pick in the top 10 and you screw this up, let's say
you're out.
There are 3 guys behind him who turn out to be great players.
There are plenty of valid arguments for why the Bruins should have moved on and started over in their front office at this point. This should be the last opportunity, make or break for Don Sweeney.
Yes.
If he blows this pick, and this pick does not pan out, he has to go. Yes, this pick is very important to his future with this team. It should be. It has to be. Number 7 overall, as you said, a top 10 pick, highest he's ever been able to pick. All right, there it is. If you can nail this, well, then good. At least you've got something to build on moving forward. You blow it, and there are no more excuses. And I felt like that was kind of being offered in his commentary when talking about the style of player and ceiling of the player, that their draft position was kind of being used as an excuse when he spoke over the weekend. I felt that way. I'm sure Bruins fans did as well because they can't stand the guy.
Well, if you say he's going to be judged, who's judging him? Right? Like who's really evaluating? Let me say it this way: who's evaluating Don Sweeney critically?
No,
I don't think anybody,
within the organization.
Within the organization,
no one.
No.
Nope.
So I think for our information, and some people have already made up their minds. Like I don't need to know anything else. I don't care what he does with this draft pick. I've already made my mind up on Don Sweeney. But for our purposes, I think we get to see. All right, this is what he's really about. But the organization, I hate to say this, Bruins fans, I hate to say it. I think Don Sweeney is a lifetime Bruin.
He's an appointee.
I think he's got a lifetime deal with the Bruins. As long as Cam Neely is here, because Cam Neely is a lifetime Bruin.
Right.
As long as Cam Neely is here, Don Sweeney will be here.
All right, let's talk more about that, more about why Higgins fell in the draft, more on the draft overall, the process, the broadcast, which left some things to be desired. Cam.
They figure
Hello?
out that Zoom.
You got to turn your mic on.
You got to turn the mic on. And you got to understand there's someone on the other end.
You're on mute.